And a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into Next Level Rugby's coverage of this NCR D1 quarterfinal. It is the Brown Bears up against Kutztown, a battle of the Bears today in Providence, Rhode Island. I'm Thomas Grant with the call alongside me, Grant Harrison. A very good afternoon to you, Grant.
And a good afternoon to you as well, Thomas.
And this game promises to be a heavyweight clash. Both of these teams have had outstanding seasons so far, and we're going to preview that very shortly as we see some of the Kutztown players going through their preparation. A little bit of soggy conditions down in Providence today, so that could play a factor. Grant, walk us through this Kutztown season so far.
Well, what a season it has been. 5-4 on the year, but don't be fooled by that. 4-2 in the conference, and they got here, you see there, with a minus 12 point differential, outscoring their opponents 191 to 203. And what a road this has been to Houston so far to get to these quarterfinals, beating the winners go to Penn State today, and Belmont Abbey was beaten 11-7 by the Kutztown.
And the Brown Bears, you can see their record there, 8-0, a formidable record so far in the season, defeating Siena 32 points to 7, AIC 40 points to zip, and the big one against Dartmouth 38-15. They are a juggernaut Collegiate side, looking to back up their record from last year, and they do have some weapons all across the paddock, which we're going to highlight very shortly as we look at the lineups. You can see there one of those players, Henrique Gabriel, or rather that's the big lock, Matt Mitchell, getting the stride through for the try. But they really play an expansive style of rugby, don't they, Grant?
Yes, Brown has a formidable forward pack, and what a forward pack it is. Good luck stopping these tight five today, and that would be the key to success for Kutztown. If you can put a stop to the gain line, this will be a victory.
Most certainly. As we're going to preview the lineups very shortly, and we're not far away from kickoff here. Let's take a quick look at the Kutztown lineup. John Zyke, Gray and Rahidi packing down the front row, followed up by Swanton and Vuren in the locking with Thurtle and Dellinger at 6 and 7, and Chicoine will be off the back at number 8. Smith wearing the number 9 jumper today. Kuparadze at 10, he'll be pulling the strings. Collinson at 12 with Grayson in 13. Kivrakashvili, number 11. 14, Henry Thomas on the right wing, and backed up by Benedict Quinn in the 15 jumper. Run us through this Brown lineup, Grant.
Well, the Brown lineup, we talked about the forward pack, and here it is. Al Jandari at 1, Al Hasso at 2, and Rosenmeyer at 3. Behind them at locks, we've got Mitchell and Corbett at 4 and 5, respectively. Number 6 will be Pitblado. Number 7, Gabriel, and number 8, backing up the forward pack, Antonio Esteves. And then as we take a look at the backs here, wearing the number 9, Dylan Lewis. What an interesting character he is, and what a day he will have as we look towards this matchup. Thomas Dyer at 10, wearing the number 11. That'll be Theo Romeo. 12, Gaffa. 13, Ajua, and what a star he is. Number 14, Cordeberia. And number 15, Lansiner.
Yes, certainly is a star-studded lineup, this Brown Bears pack, as we see Rafael Lonsignor with the kicking duties today. Referee in the middle for this one is Josh Muncinera. He is a seasoned campaigner throughout the collegiate space, and he says we are ready to play this D1 quarterfinal between Brown and Kutztown is well and truly alive here in Providence, as Kutztown get a carry straight off the bat, and it's a penalty right away to Brown. Holding on is the call, so that's a good early start there for Brown, Grant.
Yes, it is. You see Kutztown taking the penalty there, and this game, it'll be too tight to tell as of yet, but you know, these penalties can hurt a team, and a team like Kutztown need to keep today clean, and Brown needs to keep their heads on straight.
And they opt to go for touch straight away, so a good first set piece opportunity for Brown early on in this quarterfinal. And they've had a really successful line out so far this season. They've got some really good operators, Oliver Corbett, Matt Mitchell, Of course, the hooker, Joe El Hasso, is a really accurate thrower for them. Here you go, Brown now. First chance of the game to try and get some points. Corbett off the top. They form the maul straight away, and it's executed brilliantly. Brown with a real roll on here towards the line. El Hasso with the ball at the back. Etching close towards the try line. The Bears within 1 minute of this quarterfinal, knocking on the door of Kutztown. Use it once, says Musanera. It continues on, and Brown have gone close, and they've gone close enough to score. That is a fantastic start there for the Brown Bears, and you can see they are very pumped about that one, Grant. What a start.
Well, once you hit the playoffs, you've got to make a statement early on. And what a statement. 1:30 into this matchup. Brown scores off the maul. We talked about their formidable forward pack before this match. And you see here the maul directly off the line out. A bit cheeky with it, but it works out. What a hefty push there up front. And then the adjustments made as well to keep that ball alive, to keep it in the maul. And you can just see Brown is taking control.
Well, it really was a picture-perfect maul as we see the replay there. Just bodies working hard. And Kutztown really didn't have an answer once they got that initial shove on. So, danger signs early for Kutztown. They don't want to give Brown too many of those opportunities inside their own 22 as Raphael Lonsignor lines up the kick. And just doesn't quite have the legs to go over the post. So 5 points to 0 here in Providence. Just 2.5 minutes gone. So we get another shot there at the try. Referee Mincinera in a perfect position to allow that 5 points to Brown. And you can see there is plenty of emotion already in this game. And we are back underway through Kuparadze. Sends the restart just to the 10, and Ollie Corbett can't quite collect, so it's been lost forward first there by Kutztown, so the Bears will have a scrum. But that's a lovely restart there from Grant, just hanged up beautifully in the air. Sorry, wasn't it, Grant?
Yes, it is. And to start off with a scrum here, it's absolute fortuitous for the Brown Bears, I should say. Too many Bears in this matchup. But no, way to put it back. And unfortunately, it's a knock-on there by Kutztown. So Brown will get the scrum here. And we've seen their maul, we've seen their line out. And now we take a look here at their scrum to see what they can do up front.
It'll be intriguing today to see how they utilise Antonio Estevez off the back of the scrum. He's such a weapon for them, a destructive ball carrier. As Lewis feeds it in, it's a pretty strong start there from Kutztown, but they just lose their footing, so we're going to repack that one.
Let's move over here.
Well, as a tight 5, you'll never be penalized for going too low, and I believe that's what happened there. With the conditions of a wet pitch and 49 degrees, you got to be able to keep your footing there. And sometimes it's between knee height and cleat depth into the dirt.
Yeah, square, just like last time.
Yeah, this Marvel field here in Providence does tend to rip up towards the back end of the season, making it pretty hard for the front rowers to get their footing in the scrums, so I'm sure they'll be trying to avoid as many of those today as possible. As Lewis gets ready to feed it in again. This time it's a pretty clean shove here from Kutztown as they drive the Spears pack backward. Here goes Estevez off the back of the scrum. Gets met in a good tackle there by Thurtle. Lewis finds Raphael Lonsignor. Backdoor ball there to Asa Rosenmeyer, the man out of Belmont High School. Ajua, the man at the back today for Brown, sends it deep just into Kutztown territory on the 10 metre. Benedict Quinn returns serve. Here it is here again with Ajua. Puts on some footwork and beats his first offender. Bit of space here for Tito Ajua. Very dangerous runner. Bustles all the way through and looks for the offload. Gets taken to ground. Fantastic run there from Tito. Just looking for runners here, and Raphael Lonsignor sets it off to JT Dyer. Finds Ollie Corbett in the big red headgear. Lewis. Lonsignor. Goes himself, does Raphael Lonsignor. Very heavy footwork does this number 13 have. Dyer puts it to the boot, just into the 22 of Kutztown, not quite where he was wanting it to go. Benedict Quinn down past the halfway, and that's a pretty lovely touch finder there from Kutztown, Grant. So that's a good passage of play.
We'll get it just at halfway, and you see there, Tito Ajua, what a massive run to push Brown into deep Kutztown territory. You see him break a defender there, break about 15 tackles, beat every man on Kutztown, and he keeps going there, keeps the ball up, waits for support. That is IQ to its max.
Yeah, we've spoken about him in the pre-game. He is one of their danger men, is Tito Ajua. Brown here with the line out will no doubt be trying to get the ball in that man's hands again. Here goes El Hasso. Corbett gets it off the top, but it's been stolen by Kutztown, so good stuff there from the Kutztown Bears. Just picked up on a scratch there from Van Vuren. Good hands by the big lock. Smith tries to rally his troops. Gets it back to Kuparadze, puts it to the sky. Lonsignor's waiting at the back of the 22, and he calls the mark. So Grant, it's pretty evident both teams are trying to play a bit of a kicking battle early on in this game.
Well, it's the best way to find possession and field territory. Kutztown, though, when they do find it, they need to clean up those passes. You see some dirty ones there from the ruck, and those clean passes could be the difference between a win and a loss today. And what one this win and loss will be. The winner will go to Penn State for the semifinals.
Yeah, all on the line. A trip to Penn State Berks is awaiting one of these two teams as we just wait for a ball to re-enter the field. And it will be Kutztown with the line out. Their first real attacking opportunity of this game so far. Toby Gray, the hooker, gets set. It's a bit of a messy ball, and it's been collected at the back here from El Hasso. So good job there. Well, that's Gabriel rather, the number 7 for Brown. Lethal runner. Lewis, Dyer, finds Ollie Corbett, who punches through a hole. Looking threatening here are the Brown Bears. Mitchell gets met with some heavy contact there near the 10-metre mark for Brown. Dyer finds that Tito Ajua again, that dangerous runner before. Lewis, Lonsignor. Just past the halfway, Brown trying to get into their structure here. Dyer, Ollie Corbett, backdoor ball, it's lovely, but met strong from the Kutztown defenders. Lewis again. They go to the boot this time through quarter barrier, and it's just past the 22 for Kutztown. So good kick there from Brown. They return serve. Benedict Quinn again. Here goes Antonio Estevez just on the halfway. This is great defense so far from Kutztown. So they play back to Dyer. Lonsignor really deep here from Brown, trying to break through as Raphael Lonsignor. Stolen here by Kutztown. This is fantastic defense. Kevin Swanton, the big lock, takes it into contact. Just struggles to get to ground, but does eventually. Here goes Smith. Backdoor ball for Van Vuren. Kuparadze down the right for Henry Thomas. Kutztown with a bit of a roll on now. Change of momentum. Here goes Van Vuren. Inside ball to Thurtle. Smith finds his winger on the right. Henry Thomas again with a carry, and that one has just been lost forward. So we must say good things, Grant, about Kutztown's line speed there. Just not giving Brown any room to move.
We gotta move. Okay.
Yes, we see the defense here. Kutztown putting an absolute stop to Brown's attack, and that is the key to success for Kutztown today, as well as holding on to the set pieces.
Just move up a little bit.
You just see the attack there, right up on the ball,
Yeah, over here.
and that can win or lose a match. And Kutztown playing the ball right today on defense,
All right, let's do
because we haven't seen much possession by Kutztown. Doesn't mean they can win the ball back
It's good there.
very easily.
Well, it's going to be one of the keys to them winning today, Kutztown, for sure, is their defense. We know Brown have so many weapons right across the paddock, so that'll please the coaching staff, that line speed and connection on defense. Will be Brown with the scrum. Here's Dylan Lewis again. Penalty, Kutztown. And they're pumped about it. The front row of Zyke, Gray and Rahidi getting the first scrum penalty of the game.
Mark is there. Nine. Mark is there.
Well, you've got to listen to the sir here, and it seems as we had a early push.
Mark is there. Yeah.
Yes, I believe so. And we see Kutztown earlier in the scrum having a clean push against Brown, and as we mentioned, these set pieces could be a great factor today as a line-out push deep into Brown territory. As we've seen some shakiness on both sides. Let's see who comes up with this one.
It will be a line out for Kutztown. Toby Gray feeds it in. Taken down by Dellinger there. They roll on for the maul. This time Kutztown trying to get a bit of revenge on the Brown try. This is good shape here from the Bears. Moving forward as they edge towards the try line. Kutztown trying to get some first points on the board for them. Aidan Smith tries to rally his troops. And penalty to Kutztown again, so a little bit of a momentum swing here in favour of Kutztown, and their first chance here to really put some points on the board, Grant.
A bit of taste of Brown's own medicine as they see a formidable maul, and I believe the first time a maul has shook them up this year. Brown's bread and butter being the maul, of course, getting their first try today off one. And if you're just joining us, you might see that Kutztown is a bit of the maul representatives today, as a decent push there and great adjustment here off the back end to find some support and reform the maul around. We see the ball come off the edge there, and his mates are just right there with him to get it as we head into a scrum.
Well, here goes Aidan Smith for Kutztown. You can see Georgie Kuparazzi just deciding what they're going to do, and looks like they're going to try and keep it in for a bit longer as they move forward. This time Smith gets it out to Kuparazzi. Backdoor play to Archie Grayson, punching through, going close. Quick ball there for Smith. Kuparazzi down the left to Henry Thomas. Thomas beats one, beats two, and Kutztown get their first score of the game, and it is Henry Thomas who does it.
Well, it's a tale of footwork as Thomas on the outside owes it all to his teammates on the inside of him, who got this ball out. A beautiful play, some trickery and fighting for extra meters there. That one extra meter just proving to be fortuitous. Then on the outside, makes a man miss, makes another, and then heads inside, protects the ball as well as he's going down. We see so many times at this level, loose protection can lead to a knock-on through the back of the try. And as we get ready for the kick here, Kutztown has tied this one up and a chance to put two up on Brown.
Well, it really was a great finish there in the corner from Henry Thomas. He still had a lot of work to do to get over the white line. Really important score for them. Smith lines up the kick, and this one just fades away to the right, so it is all square here in Providence. 5 apiece. 15 minutes gone as we see the replay again, and it was just a brilliant line there from Archie Grayson. the number 13. And they got quick ball there for Kuparazzi, who fired a beautiful pass out to Thomas on the left side. And you can see there the footwork, beating about 3 defenders to get over the white line. It was a brilliant try. And Rafael Lonsignor gets us back underway with a pretty shallow restart on the 10 metre. It's been collected by Brown and Ollie Corbett on the charge. Lewis finds Matt Mitchell, the man wearing number 4 today for Brown. Lewis back to Lonsignor, to Dyer. Junior Guffer this time punching onto the ball. Soon to be a New England Free Jack, of course, drafted by them in the Major League Rugby draft for 2024. Dyer, short ball off to Mitchell again. A succession of carries for him. Rather, that's Antonio Estevez. And there's a little bit of chat going back and forth between these two. Estevez certainly is a man who loves to chat, isn't he, Grant? But no one really rises to his challenge.
Yes, he is. I mean, nobody ever really talks back to him, and he's always quick on the jib. He's always got a thing to say, and, you know, that's just what you want out of a 8. I mean, he's got the play to prove him as well. He's just absolutely shown out this season, and if anyone's earned to talk, it's Estevez. You see here, he's got a bit of a chippy draw on him, and just getting into the heads of Kutztown, as he's able to prove himself too.
The man out of Lisbon, Portugal, certainly plays with a lot of passion. Good line out off the top here for Lewis. Gets it off to Dyer. Carrying hard through to the 22 of Brown Bears, trying to get their second try here. Ed Jewett, the man with the sparkling footwork, gets met with some heavy contact there by the Kutztown defenders. Lewis, Lonsignor, back to a play to Ollie Corbett. Quick ball for Lewis again. Dyer, lovely wraparound play here for Dyer. Gets the pass away down the left here. That looks like it's called Tabaria. Fantastic skills there from the Bears. Lewis gets the tip away here. Carrying was Pip Boldo, the number 6. Mitchell again. He's been through a mountain of work already in this game. The Bears really threatening to punch through this Kutztown line here, but they get the penalty. And they are pumped about it. That is a fantastic turnover there for Kutztown, and it needed to happen.
Well, if ever you needed a penalty, that's where you get backed up to your own line. And then you see Bears there committing an egregious one.
Back over there.
As Kutztown has an opportunity to flip the field here with a massive boot, getting ready for the set piece.
Georgie Kuparadze sends it down around the halfway metre line. It's a great touch finder as we see the replay here. It was the big lock, Luca Van Vuren. That's just textbook technique, straight over the ball. And in playoff rugby, those are the sorts of plays that are super important. They can be those game-changing moments. And we're no doubt going to see plenty more of those.
Ball control has been so important to both sides today in Brown Bears.
Here goes Aiden Smith. Finds it back to the turnover. This time Brown, though, make the defensive change. So here it goes. Dyer, wide pass. Here's Junior Gaffer. Destructive runner is Gaffer, but he gets met in a barnstorming tackle from Henry Thomas. Lewis, short ball off to Mitchell. Around about the halfway metre line here for the Bears. Lonsignor, flat pass off to Joel Hasso. And we'll come back for the penalty advantage. Offside, says referee Muncenera. Some physical shots out there, Grant, from Kutztown.
Seen some big hits today. We've got one coming up, but gain speed hitting the gain line on for Kutztown has been a key today. They're just caught getting off. As this ball is kept in, Kutztown will return.
Yeah, that one not finding touch, so Kutztown get the opportunity to send it back. You can see the wind playing a little bit of a factor today at Marvel Field as we have a look at the replay. This was the hit on Junior Gaffer from Henry Thomas. Wow, sensational.
Big hit the leg up. This one drives Brown back, and they have to take a second to evaluations here.
The Bears get it back for Lewis. JT Dyer gets the short ball back around Lonseigneur. Ejua with the ball now, trying to find a runner, but he goes himself. Tito Ejua. Lonseigneur gets it off to Mitchell again. Another carry for that man. Punching forward, and they get the penalty, so just a little bit high there, says referee Munsanera.
Well, Kutztown has an aggressive attack today. It hurt them once with offsides, and there with a high tackle. Brown taking advantage of this one as they'll try to kick for touch. You see the arms come up there.
Tito.
Just on the upper left-hand side of your screen.
Yeah, this time Tito Ejua finds touch, so just beyond the 22 here for the Brown Bears. 21 or 22 minutes gone in this game, 5 points apiece, and you can see a pretty good crowd building there at Marvel Field. A bit of support for the hometown Bears. Ollie Corbett brings it down and they shape for the maul immediately. This time it's been met pretty well defensively by Kutztown. They're not really getting a roll on here, are the Bears, so now they start to push forward. Penalty advantage, says referee Munsanera. They're still going, the Brown Bears. Etching close to the line. Here goes Brown. It's with the back for El Hasso. Millimeters short. Someone find the ball. It's hard to see in there, and I think they just bring it to ground and held up, says referee Munsanera. So it looked like it was going to be a try for all money. We'll come back for the penalty advantage, but that maul is pretty destructive for them, Grant.
Yes, we saw Estevez peel off the maul there and get a bit chippy again. Once more, you can tell he's just absolutely wanting this game today. And sometimes that hits the frontal lobe, and you can see the aggression play there to the right side of the replay. As he's a bit slow to rejoin the maul as well. And who can blame either side for this aggression?
Exactly right. Plenty, no love lost in this game so far, that's for sure. And we'll no doubt see another maul set up here from the Bears. Ollie Corbett takes it down. And that is the trick. The Bears on the roll here. They go close. The Brown Bears are in. Second maul try of the game for them. And that again was beautifully constructed. And once they got their shove on, there was no stopping the Bears. We'll see on the replay who gets the reward for that one. But again, Grant, unstoppable that close to the line.
Well, if at first you don't succeed, try again. We see a second maul here off the line out. And just absolute textbook form here. Both players engaged low on either side of the ball carrier to get the ball back. And I can't see who came up with it. But that was just a team effort, so we'll credit all of Brown forward pack with the try there.
Raphael Lonseigneur will look to try and add the 2 points on top. It's been an entertaining encounter so far. Not much between these two teams in the opening 25 minutes of this game. Lonseigneur lines up the kick. And it's been charged down there almost from Henry Thomas, but he manages to add enough pressure to make Lonseigneur miss the kick, so it'll stay 10 points to 5. You can see there.
A slow approach there. And it is tipped away. He gets a finger or two on the tip of that ball there. And what beautiful pressure by Kutztown.
Well, we saw it in the World Cup recently. Yeah, Cheslin Colby from South Africa. A similar thing, stopping an important conversion. So Great effort there from Henry Thomas as junior Gaffer breaks through. He's a hard man to put down as Gaffer. Lewis. Backdoor to Estevez. They play wide here to Lonsignor. Lonsignor opts to put it to boot. Sends a sky-high kick at the back there for Benedict Quinn. Quinn returns serve. It's down here for Romeo. And this time finds Ejua. Gets brought down just around the 10-metre mark inside Brown's half. And it's been knocked on there from the Bears. So, again, we talk about that physical defence from Kutztown. And it is getting the rewards at the moment.
This is a costly loss here for Brown. Ball control must maintain at the top of your list and the top of your priorities today, as we see the players cleaning off all the mud from their sprigs there, their boots, pardon me. And you just see these conditions are just not meant for scrumming, but when it's not meant for scrumming like this, you do get some good dig in those front ends of your cleats from the front row, as they need to get some depth here. Watch their knee height, and Kutztown with another good push getting ready here.
You can see the flag blowing in the background there. Certainly some windy conditions. Here goes Aidan Smith, the 9 for Kutztown, gets it off to Kiparadze. Backdoor play here for Grayson. They try to find Henry Thomas there, but it's been lost forward, so Brown try and launch the counter-attack here. Could that be a costly error for Kutztown? Estevez. This time it's been lost forward by Brown, so we'll come back for the no advantage. Just a couple of handling errors creeping in there, Grant, for both sides.
Yes, we just talked about ball control, and there you see it playing a factor. As we get ready for another scrum, we see the drop here. That pass leading a bit too much, put right onto the hands though. And he just catches the top of the ball. And in these conditions, you've got to hold on to that. Find another position on the ball to hold it at and rein it in, but that one just unobtainable.
Yeah, Henry Thomas, the try scorer for Kutztown, just losing that forward. Potentially already had his eyes on the try line for another one. Dylan Lewis for Brown. Gets ready to feed it into the scrum. That's a strong shove there from the Bears as they march forward. Look at this pack for Brown go. Penalty advantage surely going to be coming soon. But we're going to play a reset. I thought for all money there, Grant, they might have drawn a penalty there. They certainly got a great shove on in that scrum.
Yes, and it all begins with a mistake by Kutztown. Watch these binds here on the front row and the second row as well. Just come a bit loose right there, and Brown finds that opening. And once you find that, you just gotta dig in and push with all your might. Brown does that, and you see they find that left side of the scrum and just keep marching forward. And scrum after scrum after scrum here, midway through the first half.
Yeah, Brown will certainly be happy to pack down for another scrum based on that last one. Dylan Lewis, the 9 for Brown, out of Pelham, New York. Represented the Nyack U23s at one point in his career. Here goes Lewis. This time, free kick to Kutztown. So, early engage, I think, was the call, or front row just standing up. You can see referee Montanero there.
Yes, we've seen that call once more. Once again, actually. We saw it earlier in the match. As we see the ball played out the back there. Might have gotten a hand on it, but I believe it was an early push.
Kutztown get a roll on here. Kiparadze, backdoor ball to Grayson. Wide pass out to Henry Thomas, the try scorer. Smith looks for runners. Finds Swanton. Met strongly there from Matt Mitchell as opposite lock for Brown. Here's Thomas again, back inside to his number 12, Ben Collinson. Straight on the ball, Brown. They try and force the turnover. But we're going to pack down a scrum. Knock on, says referee Muncenera. Physical defense there from Brown as well, Grant. There, both of these teams just so connected with their line speed. We see the replay here of the error.
Both sides ready for it. You can see there they're ready for either option as well, as that ball works back inside and 3 Bears are ready for the tackle. We see the poach there as well. And look at that jackal as the ball comes out. No fault to the Bears, as this pressure has been absolutely... Oh, and look at the celebration in the back there as well. Hands up. Ready for the call.
Yeah,
The
Matt
attack
Mitchell,
by the Brown
lock.
Bears.
The lock for Brown, Matt Mitchell, thought he got the turnover, but he just lost control of the ball on the ground, so hence why we're packing down for a scrum in favour of Kutztown. Just under 10 minutes to play in this first half here at Marvel Field. 10 points to 5, not much in this encounter. And a penalty this time goes the way of Brown, so front row going down was the call there from Muncenera, so
Yeah, sometimes you try to get low and sometimes you get too low.
Misses touch does Tito Edjua, so it's back for Kutztown. That's a couple of times now that Edjua hasn't been able to find touch, but forward pass, says referee Muncenera, so we're going to come back over for a scrum. The wind certainly a factor. Let's have a look at this pass. Edjua not able to find touch, and
You see the
that
tent there in the
passes.
background even flew onto the field. We'll go back here. Take a look at the right-hand side of your screen. And there's the tent. This wind is going to play a factor as both teams look to touch on those kicks there, playing a crucial role.
Dylan Lewis gets ready to feed it into the scrum again. Brown, of course, getting a penalty at the last pack down. This time, strong scrum by Kutztown. The Bears, however, return serve and they now get a good shunt on. But we're going to reset front row. Wheeling was the call.
Too much of a twist there by Brown. But you see, Kutztown is just trying for traction on the end of their tight head. And that's where Brown gets the push. And when one side pushes, everyone else leans into it. And you see Brown there called for wheeling.
You just get the feeling both sides haven't really been able to settle into any continuity yet. It's been a pretty stop-start first half. No doubt those quarterfinal nerves coming into play. 10 points to 5, certainly a nail-biting encounter so far. The second half will no doubt have some more surprises in store. This time Brown get a good roll on here. Lewis at the back, penalty advantage, says the referee. Dyer, wide pass out to Lonseigneur. Gaffer punching onto the ball. Junior Gaffer, look at him go. Gaffer, could he go all the way? And he does. Junior Gaffer, that is a sensational try. Brutal power, punching through to the line.
What a play for Brown, and it all begins with the scrum. A massive push there on the left side and straight forward. Look at these meters gained. Kutztown sliding back. You can see the flanker there, Cameron Thurtell, fighting for leverage. As the ball works its way out, finds a hole, keeps pushing forward. Nobody can stop him. All the way in. Tries for a shoelace tackle, but just can't find it. As Kutztown has just been run over. And how will they respond?
Well, it was a beautiful line there from Gaffer. And just under 5 minutes to play, and the kick goes over from Lonseigneur, so 17 points to 5. But is that a sign of big things to come for Junior Gaffer? We mentioned earlier he's been picked up by the New England Free Jacks in the Major League Rugby draft, and look at this again.
It all begins with hitting that line at just the right height. Hitting that line at just the right height. And as well, fighting for the conversion in this wind. We talked about it earlier. The first conversion made today has been struck by the Brown Bears.
We're back underway here as Lewis gets it out the back to Ejua, who opts to go to boot this time. It's rolled into touch almost. No, it's been kept in by Kutztown, so that's a lovely kick there by Ejua. Good territorial play. And Benedict Quinn returns serve, but that is a good neat game there for the Brown Bears.
Three missed kicks for Brown finding touch, as Kutztown does find touch. And this is what the Kutztown Bears need, as it's a chance to reset, take a deep breath, and find yourself in a position where you need a try before half. This is the way to do it. Try to find this off of the line out defensively. You did it once earlier in the match. See if you can do it again here and change the tides.
Ollie Corbett takes it down. Brown form the maul immediately. You can see that is definitely their go-to at the moment. It's at the back here for Pip Baldo. They march forward here to Brown. Look at them roll, all working in sync. Kutztown try and get a good defensive shove on, and we're going to pack down for a scrum. That one looked to be a truck and trailer call. Brown just running into their own men, so it's going to be in favour of Kutztown here, and they'll be pretty relieved because that one was rolling forward, Grant.
Yes, when you lose your bind on a maul, you've just got to play it and keep rolling, and if you try to rebind like that, you will be called for the truck and trailer, especially when you're on the side of the referee and a clear vision to it. So it's a scrum down for Kutztown here. Kutztown earlier, we saw their binds were a bit shaky. Got to clear the dirt off the cleats there and sink down for this one, as this is the most important scrum of the day. And the replay again here, we see the ball carrier disengaged and then re-engaged.
So it will be Kutztown with the scrum. And Aidan Smith gets ready to feed it in. An important 2 minutes coming up here for Kutztown. Great scrum there from the Bears. Look at them march forward. They get the penalty, and they are pumped about it. That is a real statement from the front row of the Bears. Algendari, Al Hasso, and Rosenmeyer absolutely monstering the pack of Kutztown.
Rosenmeyer with a grin from ear to ear there after that call. And that's what you need. 2 minutes before half. Take a look at this. A big push there.
Yeah, there is no stopping that. Powerhouse scrum of Brown. And they get a golden opportunity to extend their lead right on the stroke of halftime here in Providence, Rhode Island.
I'd say we could expect a maul here, wouldn't you say, Thomas?
I think you're bang on the money as Brown get ready to take it in, and they do form just that. Ollie Corbett. It's a trick play down the left though. It's fooled everybody, and it's been taken into touch, so that one out of the Dave Laflamme coaching book of tricks.
Well, you can fool everybody except the touchline. There we see the maul form. Pop it up right off the back, carry it in, but you gotta stay in.
That's exactly right. $100 move with a $2 finish is what I'd call that one. Kutztown get it out the back, and that will signal the end to the first half here in Providence, Rhode Island. Marvel Field, the D1 quarterfinals, the road to Houston. And it is currently the Brown Bears who have their name on that ticket to Penn State Berks. We will be back with you very shortly for the second half. As you can see, Estevez showing his passion. Grant Harrison, Thomas Grant with the call. We'll be back on Next Level Rugby very soon. And welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, to the beautiful Providence, Rhode Island. It is Brown versus Kutztown, the battle of the Bears for this D1 quarterfinal. The winner heading to Penn State Barracks for the semi-finals. And it is currently the Brown Bears in the box seat, 17 points to 5 at halftime. As you can see, Antonio Estevez and Kevin Swanton getting into a bit of a verbal battle there. Certainly plenty of passion in this game. Thomas Grant with Grant Harrison on the call for this one. Talk to me about that first half, Grant.
Well, we knew it would be a battle of the forwards today, and what a battle it has been. You see maul after maul after maul for Brown has been so successful today when they keep it in tight, when they keep their heads on straight. And speaking on straight, we've seen the aggression earlier in this first half. Both Antonio Estevez and going up against all of Kutztown Bears. Mentally, both sides have to keep their heads on.
As we see Georgi Kuparadze getting ready to get the second half underway, and you just get the feeling Kutztown haven't really had much opportunity with ball in hand, but they are so dangerous when they do. And we are back underway. It will be Brown Bears trying to exit from inside their own half. Here goes Ed Jewett, dangerous player in that first half. We saw him with a number of carries. Here goes Kutztown on the counter-attack. Takes it down the left-hand touchline. This is a brilliant counter here from Kutztown. What a start to the second half for the men. Here goes Swanton. Carries hard and direct. Smith finds Kuparadze at 10. He opts to go for the boot to the sky. Met. Lovely take there in the back though from the winger there, Theo Romeo for Brown. And they return serve down, and that is almost drifted into touch but kept in play here by Kutztown. So they break away again. Again, it's a dangerous run here from the try scorer Thomas in the first half. And Henry Thomas goes all the way. That is a fantastic individual effort and just what Kutztown needed.
Well, just when you talk about how dangerous these Kutztown Bears are with ball in hand, they are dangerous with ball in hand. Henry Thomas with a textbook carry here and a beautiful carry, making line breaks after line breaks. The Brown Bears missing a few tackles, finally getting them down, but Henry Thomas able to push that ball forward and set it down for the touch as Kutztown gets up 17-10 here.
Well, there must have been some inspirational words said at the halftime huddle for Kutztown, because they have come out of the gates hot and fast. And just only 2 minutes gone in the second half, and they already get some points on the board. A vital score there from Henry Thomas, and 2 tries to him. He's been such a vital cog in that first half, hasn't he, Grant?
Yes, he has. All of Kutztown has been playing so well today, just unable to find the ball. And as they do here, just so many beautiful moves to send him as the arms go up for Brown Bears, as they're at a loss of what to do against Henry Thomas here. A try earlier in the first half and a try very early in the second half.
Raphael Lonsignor gets us back underway. Brown will be looking to right the wrongs there. Taken in by Luca Van Vuren. Aidan Smith gets ready to find his runners as Brown try and force the counter. But it's been lost forward there on the ground. So just awaiting to see which way the ball's going to go. But good defense that time by the Bears, Grant.
Yes, Kutztown in the first half had a spectacular defense, sometimes a bit too spectacular, with an offsides call early in the match and a high tackle as well. But now Brown Bears, we see the attack here, trying to get this ball back, and they're just right there ready for him, right in his kitchen.
So the ball will stay with Kutztown. I think unplayable was the call deemed by referee Muncenera. So Kutztown will no doubt be looking to try and exit here inside their own 22. Smith gets it in. Good scrum there from both sides. They break off the back through Manahi Chacoin, but it's messy and it's going to fall in favour of Brown. That one going to touch, so a crucial mistake there from Kutztown.
Well, Kutztown had to take a look at their scrum over halftime, and they did. This push keeps it steady, but as the ball comes out, one too many fancy offloads, and the ball trickles out just off the foot of Kutztown. Brown Bears were ready for it there, but instead they'll have to take the stoppage.
Estevez takes it down in the line out. There's Lewis with the ball now at scrum half. Looks for JT Dyer at the back. Lonsignor, wide pass out to Ejua. Still going, Tito Ejua. Had a number of good breaks in the first half. Dyer finds his runner again. They're just going to try and set a few phases here of the Bears and get back into their work. Lonsignor. Great defense there from Kutztown. Dylan Lewis pleading for a penalty, not rolling, but play on, says the referee. Here goes Junior Guffer. Scored a fantastic try in the first half, a beautiful individual effort. Ollie Corbett goes into play scrum half, and the Bears get the penalty. Corbett taps and goes, but a little too quickly, says the referee, so we're going to bring it back. Ollie Corbett maybe a wee bit excited there, Grant.
Yes, when you see that as a forward, you just got to take your opportunities when you can. Rarely do you get a pick at the halfway line. But when you see it there, you've just got to take it. And when you get called back, oh, it just sinks your heart in. Kept in here.
Kept in again by Kutztown. So the touch finders haven't been quite functioning today for Brown, but Ollie Corbett gets us on the counter-attack. Lonsignor. It's had the back here for Brown Bears, so they're going to get the ball back anyway, but just not on the right part of the field. Penalty again goes the way of Brown. Not rolling away is the call there from the referee, so JT Dyer, or it will be a Jua to take the touch finder again, but really crucial these ones go out.
Brown getting a break here as they missed so many kicks for touch in the first half. They just missed one previously. And this one will be kept in as well.
It's 5 missed for touch by the Bears. So maybe that wind is playing a really big factor. So the wind in the face there of Tito Ejua making things pretty difficult. As you can see, the tree has some movement for sure. So they'll get the line out and try and set for a little bit of a set piece strike here. This time taken down by Mitchell. They bring it back. Rosenmeyer trying to bustle forward here are the Brown Bears. It's with Ollie Corbett at the back in the red headgear. They march forward here to the Bears. We know what this maul can do. Almost taking a ground, but they're still moving forward, so a good job there to stay connected. Kutztown trying to put a bit of a defensive stop on this maul. It does, but then it moves forward again, so the Brown Bears continue to march. Lewis, Dyer, back inside to Guffer. Destructive runner he is. Dyer, flat pass out to Ejua, puts the jink on. Almost goes down the left-hand touchline, but gets taken to ground eventually. Dyer, goes himself, Dyer the 10. Lewis, looking for runners, and finds one in the form of Estevez. Lewis, just happy to keep it nice and compact at the moment as Brown. Lonsignor, Corbett, short pass off to Estevez again. Lonsignor goes himself. Raphael Lonsignor met heavily in contact from Kutztown. Swanton Here goes Mitchell, goes into play scrum half. Kutztown doing a good job to stop this Brown onslaught at the moment. Gaffer goes through one. Lonsignor plays Estevez quite flat. Good hands there off to El Hasso. It's with Matt Mitchell back inside. They roll on here, Brown. A good showing of skill. Estevez punches on with some pace. Lewis finds Dyer. Back inside. That's brilliant to Henrique Gabriel, the 7 for Brown. Corbett. A good number of phases here for Brown as they continue to march towards the line. Matt Mitchell. If anyone deserves a try, it's him. Lewis finds Omar Al-Jandari. Looks like they're going to try and set it a little bit tighter here, so they do just that. Estevez goes close. Lewis. A bit of confusion, but they find one eventually in the form of Asa Rosenmeyer. Lewis trying to dig for the ball. They're just going to slow it down a bit. Here's Mitchell. You can see the try line on your screen. They go close here to Brown. Picking and going. Almost. An incredible amount of phases as Kutztown try and get over the ball. It's at the back here for Brown though. You can see the ball there just on screen. They dive towards the post, do the Bears. Lewis. This time they go wide. Gaffer. He's already got one to his name, and you can add a second to that. Junior Gaffer, too hard to stop that close to the line, and that is a crucial try for the Bears.
What a beautiful try it was. Kutztown tackling so low there and hitting that line speed. That's why you saw so many phases, is Kutztown was there every time, but Brown made the proper adjustment there. What you need to do when you see that, spread the field out and look at these long passes from Brown to do just that and find space where it is available and hit those gain lines with speed and with efficiency.
Well, it's something both teams have not really been able to do so far in this game, and that is string together phases and build pressure. And that'll make the coaching staff of Brown very happy. They were able to string together 20 to 30 phases there, and they get the rewards in the end. Lonsignor with the kick. Goes over the post, so 24 plays 12. A 12-point buffer for Brown. And just look at this, Grant, from Gaffer as he picks out the 10 here.
Yes, keep your eyes on Junior Gaffer here. Picking on the 10, as you see. Falling into it.
Really, Georgie Kuparazzi didn't really have an answer for the power of Gaffer there as we get back underway. Taken in by Gaffer, the man himself. Lewis looks for runners, finds Ollie Corbett. He's had a strong game, has the lock for Brown, the man out of Cranley, England. Ed Dewar goes to boot round about the 22-metre mark here for Kutztown. On the counter-attack, Benedict Quinn, the fullback. Quinn goes himself but just loses his footing. Gets back up. Smith goes for the box kick, but it's been charged down by Corbett.
What an eye by Ollie Corbett there. To see the box kick coming, pick out a side, pick out the right side. And we see an unfortunate slip there by Kutztown. As they were trying to push the field, push the try line, we see the box kick here. It's right off his noggin, actually.
The Falcon.
That's how to use your head.
Well, it wouldn't be a game of rugby without a Falcon in it. And Ollie Corbett with the red headgear. Pretty easy to spot. He's been a real stalwart for this Brown program over the last couple of years. As Kutztown get a clean line out. Smith plays it off in the midfield to Thurtle there. Smith. Messy ball for Kutztown. Rahidi couldn't quite collect it, but they go back eventually and clean up the scraps. Smith looking for runners. Down the right foot. Mate Kivrakashvili. Gray carries strongly. You can see the halfway metre line there for Kutztown. Smith. Kuparadze out the back. They play it in for Collinson, just around the 10-metre mark. Not really going anywhere at the moment, Kutztown. They get the penalty. And they tried to go quickly again, but referee Munsonair is not letting them go quick today, Grant.
No, you've got to put a stop to that, especially when Brown isn't set, because you're just going to be calling it down anyway for not 10. We see the replay there. What aggressive rucks today by either side.
Not able to find touch, so it's been a timely thing today as these touch finders. Lonsignor back into play here for Brown. Lewis gets it off to Ollie Corbett as they shape for the exit, and they find Tito Ejua, who sends a long raking punt downfield. It's at the back here for Benedict Quinn, this dangerous runner for Kutztown. There's a little bit of confusion though. And Brown almost forced the turnover. Smith, they play wide down the left here. Kivrakashvili. Smith gets it off to Swanton. Kevin Swanton carries strongly. Smith again. Kiprakadze. They send it downfield for Tito Ejua again to return serve. He's done so a number of times in this game today. As Kutztown try and launch the counter, they beat one. Strong tackle there down the left-hand flank, and Brown rush on the turnover here. And it's been lost forward, so fantastic pressure there from the Bears.
What beautiful pressure indeed, but that is a moment where you just need to kick it. Don't try to scramble and stop and pick it up. No, just give it a boot forwards. You see it carried in here. An offload attempted to try to keep it in, but it's just to nobody as everybody loses their footing. That's the moment when you need to kick it forwards. Knocked there.
So Brown will get the scrum. Yeah, as you said, Grant, it'll be Brown ball, so a really good set piece strike opportunity here for the Bears. So we have a look at the replay.
Get ready for a big hit. Look at that pressure. And as the line speed, look at that carry up as well.
Just over 20 minutes to play in this D1 quarterfinal. We're live on Next Level Rugby. It is Brown currently in the box seat, 24 points to 12. And this Brown program wouldn't be where it is today without their fantastic alumni donating their funds to make this program and showcase being shown today on NLR. We thank them for their contributions as Kutztown break away on the counter-attack. It was a little bit messy there for Brown. Kutztown will try and exit from inside their own 22. So they march forward. They're pleading for a penalty, and they get it, just that. So it's a pressure-relieving penalty there for Kutztown, Grant, as Brown were threatening.
As we take a look back at the turnover. Right off the scrum here. Called the penalty, and the first time the referee has let them play quickly. Just loses the ball off the bat. Estevez tries to boot this one and just whiffs on it. Not rolling away here.
Tried to get a bit fancy. Still plenty of time left in this game for Kutztown to mount a comeback, so that won't make the coaching staff of Brown too happy. Just got to settle it down. There's Kutztown, throw in for the line out, and you don't even need a ruler to see how straight that one was. That one was a very wonky one, so Brown will get the ball back, and that wind really playing a factor.
Compensate there, and it goes right into the teeth of Mother Nature. That wind, not even straight enough Kutztown could get a proper handle on it. So we'll try for the scrum.
Will be Dylan Lewis to feed it in again for Brown, and really interested to see how both coaches use their bench in this last 20 minutes. Obviously, both sides have a number of impact players that can come off. So we see the wind really raking the leaves across the field here at Brown University. A trip to Penn State Berks on the line for both of these teams. 24 plays 12. It's currently Brown that will be making that trip at the moment, and they get a free kick, so early engage there, says referee Muncenera.
We've seen early engaging by both sides a few times today, primarily by Kutztown, as they've just got to hold that bind for a little longer. As front rows, you've just got to reach that arm around, try to put it on the back of the spine for the tight head, and hold yourself up. But there, Kutztown just falls into it.
So they're going to opt to pack down another scrum as we see the clock wind down into the last quarter of this D1 quarterfinal. The road to Houston. One more stop on that road, Penn State Berks, on the 2nd of December. And here goes Gaffer. Beats one and a little bit of a somersault over one defender. Lewis has to dig for this one. He finds JT Dyer eventually, who takes the line on himself and gets the offload away. They bring it down the right this time. Gaffer into first receiver. Gets the wide pass away, so good skills there from junior Gaffer. Lewis looking for runners. Set down just beyond the halfway meter mark. Dyer, flat pass off to Antonio Estevez. Gets met strongly there by Kutztown, and the turnover's been enforced, so brilliant there from Kutztowners. Henry Thomas races away after the ball. Kutztown trying to apply a bit of pressure on the Brown exit here. Estevez in for the carry. Will be trying to right his wrong, that turnover from before. Ejua goes for the exit, and that's a good win for Kutztown.
We'll take a look at the pressure here by Kutztown. Take a look at that big hit. And another one here, ripping the ball away and flipping the field with that kick, as that grubber just finds deep into Brown territory. And the Brown Bears have to recollect.
Well, that was potentially the most important moment of the game for Kutztown as they take the ball down here just shy of the 22. They try and find runners. Swanton carries again. Smith trying to rally his troops. Wide pass out to the right wing. Henry Thomas takes it into contact. They carry through here. Cameron Thurtle, the number 6. We see number 20, Dennis Elrod, has now taken the field for Kutztown, so some changes being made. Messy there for Kutztown. Brown try to apply pressure. Benedict Quinn at the back. Smith. Back inside for Swanton. That's a little bit of a magic play there from Smith, but Brown get the penalty. Just when it looked beautiful, it doesn't all go to plan for Kutztown.
The aggression after the play as well. Once the ball's down here, a beautiful play on your upper left side of your screen there. That little flip up to keep it alive. As he's isolated, a jackal by Brown, just perfectly timed to flip possession.
So Brown opt to go to touch, and this time they do manage to find it, so that'll be a sigh of relief there for Tito Ejua. And we can see potentially some more substitutions being made in this game as we enter near the last 15 minutes.
Well, it's been a long day for either forward pack, specifically for Brown, as they have absolutely dominated, but an even longer day for Kutztown as they have to put up with the domination by Brown Bears.
Kutztown, 12-point deficit. They need to get back in this game in quick succession. Brown with the line out inside their own half. Ollie Corbett gets the tap back for Lewis, who manages to get the ball away to JT Dyer. In the midfield here, they punch on with Mitchell. Lewis plays Lonsignor. Flat pass off to Asa Rosenmeyer, the big prop. Bustles forward. That is a great carry there from Rosenmeyer, but it's been stripped out by Kutztown. So Kuparazzi goes on the counter-attack here for Kutztown. Smith goes for the box kick, spots the space in behind, but doesn't manage to find enough of it. As Brown try and launch the counter-attack, so both teams playing a little bit of kick tennis. And that is strong contact, but it was a nasty collision, and referee Monsanero wants to have a chat about this one, and Junior Gaffer looks to be in a little bit of disarray there. Hopefully everything's okay there.
See the trainer rubbing the ribs right there. Appears to be an injury to that core, but we won't speculate too much. As we talk about a mismatch, we saw a David and Goliath there earlier as Rotuk Rahidi took it in. And we see the line speed here by Brown to keep it up, and a big hit there. Just met at the gain line.
As we await to see the referee's decision on this one, we see on the replay it certainly doesn't look good for Kutztown. Really high contact there, direct to the head with no mitigation. We see in today's game that is time and time again usually a red card. We can see the referee chatting to the captain now, and it will be a red card. So number 18 for Kutztown, Frank Carey, his day is unfortunately done. You can see he's going over to console the Brown player there on the ground as we see the replay once more. Yeah, well, that for me is a red card, Grant.
Same as well, right to the head. No resentment, but he does go over. And I'll give this to him. This is the beautiful game about rugby. But as you said, an unfortunate loss. Frank Carey, a substitute, a finisher for Kutztown, and what an important finisher, as Kutztown will have to play the rest of the match with 14 and a long way to go, both in time and points. 12 down, and a man down.
Yeah, it's unfortunate there for
Luckily, we see
Kutztown.
Brown
And
up.
hopefully Junior Guffer is A-OK, and no doubt he'll be feeling a little bit lightheaded. Just unfortunate. And Brown go for touch and they find it just beyond the halfway, so time winding down on the clock, and Brown will be looking to try and put the nail in the coffin. One more try you think would get them home, but I've seen stranger things happen in rugby, Grant.
And stranger things, we've got a ball on the field as we'll take a stoppage here. And this is the place for stranger things. A quarterfinal, the playoffs. Anything could happen.
Brown get the maul on. Strong shove again. This has worked so well for them all game. They roll on, the 22 in sight. Lewis keeps marshalling his troops. It's at the back here for Brown. They continue to edge forward. Ollie Corbett with the ball now. Working so good in tandem is this Brown pack. Referee Muncenera gives the use once warning, and it just continues to edge forward, but obstruction, a truck and trailer, there's a call again, so that's the second time we've seen that today for Brown, and Kutztown will get the ball back.
Yes, Brown so far has done a fantastic job of adjusting the maul to avoid the truck and trailer call, but 2 times today isn't too bad when you take a look at how many times that they have gone for the maul. They're disengaged and re-engaged with still the same bind, so once you lose the bind and regain that, you will be called for it. Brown called for the second time today, as we mentioned. So we'll stop for a scrum. And with 1 down for Kutztown, this will be an interesting scrum. Kutztown had some shaking and binds earlier in the match. They've regained control so far, but Brown all day long, a pivotal forward pack.
They certainly have been excellent today, has this Brown pack as Kutztown. They're going to try and run it from inside their own 22 with a special set piece play. Almost isolated there, but Brown are unable to get their hands on the ball, so it's still with Kutztown here. It moves forward and will come back for the penalty advantage. Aiden Smith, he's going to look to play quickly, the 9. There's a bit of space for Smith. Throws the wide pass away to Thomas. They try and find their prop, but it's been lost forward again there from Kutztown, so an unforced error. And with time winding down on the clock, that's not what Kutztown need at the moment.
Well, Kutztown did have the proper adjustment. When you lose a forward, focus on the backs. Did that to get out of their own territory. But sometimes it's unavoidable. You gotta use your, as we saw here, look at the speed. The off, cut back in, and another footing. Brown at a crucial moment. And then knock on that.
Both, a bit of confusion between both players there for Kutztown. They both tried to catch the ball, and unfortunately, not one of them came up with it. So Brown with a midfield opportunity here. Lewis gets it into the scrum. They edge forward. Remember, down 1 man as this Kutztown pack. Obviously force some changes, and Brown almost gets held up there, but eventually go to ground, so they play on here. Dyer puts through the chip kick, spots a little bit of space, and it's messy at the back for Kutztown, but they break away on the counter. Their counter-attack has certainly been in good fashion today, Kutztown, when they've had the opportunity to do so. It's a strong carry there from Travis Rach. Smith. Kaparadze. Backdoor ball. Kutztown, a bit of space down the outside. They're going to use speed. Strong tackle there. From the brown man on the field, looks like William Sinfield. Here goes Rotak Rahidi. Past the 10-metre mark, and they get the penalty, Kutztown. So, at a crucial stage in the game, Brown want to be careful they don't give too many more opportunities to this Kutztown team, who are very dangerous, Grant, aren't they?
Both teams have been dangerous today, but Kutztown right now knocking on the door of Brown. As they kick for touch here, they'll have a line out deep into Brown territory. As we go back to look at the penalty, the height up just a bit too much for Brown. And that tackle is around the neck as the referee puts a stop to it. We'll get ready for another Kutztown line out.
You can see the time in the background there. Under 10 minutes to play in this D1 quarterfinal. 24 plays 12. Kutztown this time shaped for them all themselves. That's been stopped brilliantly though by the Bears, so that one needs to come out, and Smith finds Kuparazzi. They go wide. There's a bit of space here for Kutztown, and they break through almost. It's been knocked on there on the ground, so unfortunate there for Kutztown as they looked threatening.
Well, when you have space at that end of the field, you have a lot of space. And when it closes in on you, boy, does it close in on you quickly. An ankle tap there, and you've just got to focus on the ball control. Town loses this one in a very crucial moment. 10 minutes left.
We see on the replay here, it's really good work there. I think it was the number 12, Ben Collinson, who just held the ball up in front a bit more to open up the space there for Grayson to punch through. And they certainly are a really threatening team with ball in hand, but they just haven't had enough of it today, Kutztown. Lewis keeps it at the back as Brown. The pack marches on. It's been a theme of the game, has this Brown scrum. But it looks like we're going to bring it back for another reset. It's not often you don't see scrum penalties happen there when a team gets a roll on like that, Grant. You typically see a penalty come from it.
Yes, we see some discussion happening here between the referee and the front row of Brown. And the push wasn't too much of a surprise, as we've seen Brown dominating all day, but that much of a push, as you mentioned, Thomas, it does raise an eyebrow. Brown is called back here, but they will maintain on to the ball, keep possession here deep in their territory as they look for an exit coming up here shortly.
Just over 6 minutes to play in this quarterfinal. Brown currently punching their way to the semi-finals at Penn State Berks. 24 plays 12 as Lewis under a bit of pressure to get the ball out. They march forward again, does this Brown pack. Pleading for a penalty. Penalty advantage coming, they get what they want. Here goes Estevez, Antonio Estevez. We know what this man can do with ball in hand. Lewis plays Dyer. Back inside to Mitchell. He's had a strong game, has the number 4 for Brown. Corbett. Corbett breaks one. Here goes Ollie Corbett. Still going Corbett. Tries to get the offload, but good decision to take it in himself. Backdoor play for Dyer. On to the new man, number 22, William Sinfield. Dyer puts through the chip kick again, and that one is a lovely kick. Finds space, and Benedict Quinn's under all sorts of pressure. Lonsignor beats one. This time, eventually gets taken to ground. Lewis. Dyer. Looking for runners. the 10-metre mark there on your screen. Carry forward again to Brown. Just over 5 minutes to play. They're looking to keep this one nice and compact. Lewis again. Quick ball, goes himself, the little scrum half. Lonsignor goes on to play halfback. Ready and waiting for the ball, Garrett Mann. Kutztown try to come in and force a bit of pressure. Mitchell, head down. This one's been held up though by Kutztown. That's great defence. Mull surely called. Penalty though, falls the way of Brown, so I thought they'd managed to get the defensive turnover there, Grant, but it's going to fall the way of Kutztown, or the way of Brown rather.
Yes, we see here. Held up there. Kutztown with the poach. But it's called in favor of Brown, as you said. But Ollie Corbett, Antonio Estevez, and Rafael Lonsinor with beautiful carries there. All three of those pushing deep into the territory of the Kutztown Bears. And this kick for touch will push it even further as Brown readies themselves for a very important maul, as a score here would put this one away indefinitely for Brown.
Here we go, boys. Play smart, boys. Right here, play smart. Cool heads. Cool heads.
Brown inside Kutztown's 22, trying to put the last stamp on this game. As they shape for the line out, gets taken down by Mitchell, gets it back to the front again for Zhao. They punch forward, here goes Brown. We've seen 2 more tries already from them. Can we get a third? Unstoppable at the moment. And it's try time for the Bears. We've seen that line-out move function against Siena a couple of weeks ago, and it is number 7, Henrique Gabriel, who comes up with the treats. That is poetry in motion, some would call it, Grant.
Yes, the back jumper here plays a vital role. You see here, back jumper throws it right down, and then a quick engage there to get the edge on Kutztown. Kutztown ready for that engage, so you know they're going to be there, and you have the advantage to find that quick movement, and that quick move, Kutztown unable to regain their footing. Brown falls right into it, and right into the lap of victory here with this one. A bit more time to go, but this try surely will put the game away.
Yeah, well, timing was everything with that move, and you can tell it's certainly one they run through at training quite a bit. It reaps the rewards for them. 29 plays 12. There's the conversion from Lonsignor, struck pretty cleanly, and it goes over the post. That's a fantastic kick there from Rafael Lonsignor. He's had a solid game today. He's always putting in a good performance for this Brown outfit, and here's a look at the replay again. There's no stopping that, Grant.
As we take another look at it, we mentioned beforehand it won again. It'll be here against Kutztown. What beautiful meant to the coaching staff of Brown.
Yeah, we saw on screen there Super Coach Dave Laflamme. He looked a bit like an FBI agent today, very official. He's got the black jacket and the beige khakis on. And they break away here again to Brown. Past the halfway mark. They want one more try in this game. Mitchell. Last home game of the season for Brown. They want one more win for their fans. And that one, unfortunately, has just drifted forward as Tito Ejua threatened to break away. And I think we're going to have some time off for another potential injury there in back play.
We've got down at half. Go back to the kickoff here and take a look at what happened. Keep your eye on the left-hand side of your screen coming up. As carried in by Brown. And on this play here, we just see some high. I believe that's Matt Mittens down.
That is indeed, it looks like that man Matt Mitchell, the number forward.
Lower body injury there.
Rather, that is Casper Pitblato. Apologies. Hopefully everything is okay there. Just under 30 seconds to play. You'll think they're just going to look to try and clear this ball out of here, try and mitigate any more injuries before they head into a big semi-final. Rather, the ball is with Kutztown though, so they're going to have to do a little bit more defending. Obviously, Junior Guffer already left the field in the second half, got a nasty blow to the head. Hopefully everything's okay for him, but he is such a powerful weapon for this Brown outfit. Could be a crucial loss for them if he is to be out for the next few weeks. You know, that man Casper Pitblato, who we just saw leave the field, is a dynamic number 6 for them. So that's 2 crucial potential injuries there for Brown, Grant.
Yes, a 2-week recovery will help this team. But as you mentioned, both teams just trying to get out of this one alive as Kutztown finish us off here.
Kutztown breakaway, trying to get a constellation try in this quarterfinal. When they've got the ball to the edge, they certainly have looked threatening. We just haven't seen enough of it. Smith, Kuparazzi, backdoor ball. Ben Collinson opts to put it to touch, and Estevez tries to come in and play a bit of soccer. KU still with the ball. This one's been kicked through again, but it's still in play. And eventually, there's a little bit of to and fro there from Antonio Estevez, who is familiar in those situations for sure. And that is full time, says referee Munstanera. The Brown Bears have punched their way to the semi-final at Penn State Berks. 31 points to 12. It has been a pleasure to have you here on Next Level Rugby. Ryan Ginty, the man that pulls all the strings in the studio. A beautiful production again today. Congratulations to Brown. It has been a pleasure on behalf of Thomas Grant and Grant Harrison. Grant, your final thoughts on the game?
Well, it was a beautiful match, and as a prop myself, I couldn't have appreciated more malls than a busy suburb. We just see absolute pressure by both forward packs, and it's just been beautiful today. And when the ball works to the outside, you see it here. It is textbook and a symphony of fine rugby talent.
Well, we're going to be back with you. Semi-final action in just a couple of weeks' time. The Brown Bears, they've got one more stop on the road to Houston. It has been an absolute pleasure. We'll see you next time on Next Level Rugby.